Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, and I'm here with my live letter recap. As you can tell, my voice is gone. So on top of having to deal with a corneal ulcer, I also lost my voice because of some sicknesses earlier in the week, plus streaming for 14 hours yesterday. So I'm kind of going to try and make this the TLDR version of the live letter notes. I mean, in all reality, there wasn't really too much. We got some dates, and we got a few little teases here and there. There's a lot of questions, like question number 1, will you be introducing any Japanese-esque furnitures along with the ninja elements? It takes a long time to complete certain content. Are you going to be focusing on this type of content in the future? Said they want to maintain a balance. Now, this was kind of the whole thing. 2.38 and 2.4 was the things that people wanted to get more information about, and we weren't really able to get much about them. I'm sure they're saving that for the Tokyo Game Show next month, and the Fan Festival in October for North America and Europe. So this was something that we got, though. We're planning to release patch 2.38 around the timing of the Tokyo Game Show, and 2.4, the team is working as hard as possible to ensure you don't have to wait long. But we also found out 2.4, we're absolutely fighting Shiva. So we're going to have Shiva Hard Mode, Shiva Extreme. I don't think there was really not much of a debate about whether or not that was going to happen. So that is looking like we're going to get that, Shiva in 2.4. Also, we got a few other things confirmed about 2.38 and some of the questions later. Man, having my voice shot is really, really bad. After this, I'm not talking for the rest of the day. 2.38 is going to be coming out around September 18th, around either, I think it's going to be September 16th or the 23rd. One of those two dates. And as for the contents, they've said that personal housing is 2.38. Which is awesome, because I've been waiting for personal housing for a very long time. And there's a few other things they said about 2.3 and 2.4, but we'll go through that as we go through the questions. Can you tell us anything about the new race? They just go, no. Are we going to be able to play the content in the expansion without having completed all the coils of Bahamut? They say yes. Are we going to ever go to the Chocobo Forest for Final Fantasy XIV, mentioned in the draft Chocobo Minion Guide? They said, they didn't say no, but they said it's different in this game. So it may not be something as exact as a Chocobo Forest. They asked if we could have a community event where people design gear and it gets implemented in the game, and they said maybe. Eorzea Cafe, they said they're not sure about opening another one. They'll see. Anything they can reveal about the expansion pack? They finalized the title, and they're just finished building a mock-up of the field. Seems kind of late to have a mock-up of the field. That's something I feel like they should have had done. Like, the field itself had been done already. Do you have plans for releasing a new soundtrack? Yes. There's no Rogan in the Sound of the Seventh Dawn. Will you be adding one? Yes. Will you be adding new reward items for players that already have 500 comms? I actually just hit 500 comms. We haven't decided the timing yet, but we are making some to add. That's good. So I know you have like 1,000 commendations. You're going to be getting some new stuff soon. Find it hard to get a party via the duty finder for certain duties, and they said they'll look at the current situation and change out the duty roulette. Do we have any more collaboration events coming? They said yes, they're working on the next one. Now, I don't know what games are coming out soon or next or anything, but I'm curious as to what this next collaboration event is going to be if they're already working on it. Are there any plans to separate the restrictions for Savage Coil and Normal Coil? And they said in 2.4 it'll be separated, but by then who the hell cares, right? I guess it's still technically good, but there's no lockout for Coil in 2.4, so there's no different, there's no point really. Will they ever be releasing Ultimate Weapon Extreme? They said they like to, but they're focused on other things right now, as opposed to just making another version of a fight that's several months old already. Currently, once you complete the Coil, Bahamut are unable to challenge again until reset. This is that question. Is there any way we can get something other than a weekly reset? And they said they haven't found a way around it yet, but they are looking for a different way of doing the Binding Coil of Bahamut. Tell us anything about the Fan Festival. Nothing we didn't already know, the dates, and they have some fun things planned. I'm pretty sure we all knew that. Somebody asked if they could add the Blue Mage. They said that they would love to. They're just not exactly sure what kind of role it would fill, so they would have to define its role before they were able to add it into the game. Alright. If we ever bring back the player survey, that doesn't really sound like it. Somebody asked if they can make Summoner more pet-focused instead of damage over time focused, and they said, well, it would require a lot of skill. Basically, during the live translation, they said that they had no sort of intention of really doing it. We have periodic censuses. Yeah, we're going to have one in the Tokyo Game Show. They had to make additions and expansions to the Wolves' Den. They said, yeah, they'd like to do PvP little by little. So now that PvP is starting to gain some popularity due to the front lines, they'd like to make some major Wolves' Den changes, and they feel like they made some major mistakes with the Wolves' Den. And one of the things is they never added rankings, and it seems like they're going to be adding rankings to the Wolves' Den and rewards to make it more competitive, which is good because it's an arena-style combat. I feel like it should be competitive. When are you planning to add the next step? That's what I forgot for 2.38. They're not going to reveal the item level, but the next step after the Novus is 2.38, which would have to mean it's either like just the Novus respec, or it's actually going to be the next, like, an item level 115 upgrade. So those of you who finished your Novices, you're going to have some upgrades to do in 2.38. It means I got to finish my Novus sometime soon. There's currently an NPC that mentions a strange train. Ooh, I know which NPC they're talking about. We plans to implement a quest based on what the NPC is referring to, and they said, we'll see, basically. More lore and riddle-focused quests in the future. I like the Glamour, the Zenith, or Animus look after unlocking the Zodiac. I thought you could buy something from the Salvager, Calamity Salvager. I guess you can only buy the original relic. That would be cool. With the Novus version of the Zodiac weapon, we were able to attach desired stats. Will the stats ever be reset in the future? Meaning, will your progress ever just be erased and set stats will be on something else? And so no, what the stats you put on your Novus will be what it is going forward. Do you have any plans to ease the difficulty of obtaining cosmetic gear, such as the swim gear in 2.3? They're mostly talking about the things you get from desynthesizing legendary fish or big fish. And they said, yeah, they're planning on making some adjustments. Any details you can reveal about the Gold Saucer? This was huge news, guys. So the Gold Saucer is going to have Chocobo Racing, flat out confirmed it. And it's also going to have the Triple Triad game from Final Fantasy VIII, which, if you haven't played the Triple Triad game of Final Fantasy VIII, it's a very simple game, has a few complex rules, but it's good fun. And it seems they're going to be adding Final Fantasy XIV specific cards, so you're going to have like Minfilia cards and things like that. It's not just going to be ripped like Squall cards and Renoa cards from Final Fantasy VIII. They also said the basketball shooting minigame for Final Fantasy VII and an active event. So we still don't have a release date on the Gold Saucer, but at least we know some of the stuff that's going to be coming with it. We make it so elite marks randomly spawn in dungeons. They said that would be kind of hard to balance because people might just reset dungeons over and over again to try and see if they get a if they try and get the elite mark. So they're not exactly sure if they could do that yet, but they'll pass it along to the development team. I'd like to see new battle content that requires a full party or alliance, something along the lines of hunts and guild leaves. And they said they'll pass that idea along to the development team, so something along the lines of like treasure hunts, but for more serious, large-scale groups, which I think is okay. I would like that. I'd like them to bring back Grand Company Leaves, the difficult ones, from 1.0. I know everyone's like, no, don't bring anything back from 1.0. But no, the Grand Company Leaves from 1.0 were something that were actually pretty cool. It was the only endgame content we had when the game first came out, if that even counts. Will you continue to add content that relies on fates? They said they're going to be easing up on fates that do not occur as often, but they can't promise that they won't use fates in the future. Can you increase the frequency of hotfixes or fine-tunes for PvP? They said they're working on it. Are there any plans to add a new tank or healer job? You'll just have to wait for the expansion announcement. In the previous live letter, you mentioned you might be making changes to the class job system. Basically, during the live stream, they just said nope. Basically, they're going to be increasing the level cap, maybe adding a few skills, but there's not going to be like a super widespread class job change. It's not going to be this massive overhaul of the system. It's just going to be some basic changes for the expansion. And then Kasuga came in. I don't remember what this guy did because it was like 2 in the morning and I didn't care at the time, so I got to check the unofficial live translation for that. And generally, I'm in charge of overseeing engineer-related tasks. I don't care. But that means that he's working on DirectX 11 client, right? And he said they finished drawing aspects of DirectX 11. And now they're looking at expressions possible. What that says to me is they're nowhere near done with it. So, please look forward to it. They were asking about personal housing. They said they're going to be adding more land as well as adding personal housing in 2.38. So we'll just have to see how personal housing ends up working out. They said that they are finally going to fix S ranks disappearing for the hunt. They said that the initial countermeasure works to a degree, but that there's another bug with it. I already know what the bug is. Sometimes the enemy isn't in the top 200 priority list, so it gets all messed up. I've explained that on the live stream plenty of times, but I'm glad to see that they're actually fixing it so that the S ranks are always #1, regardless of how many people are in the area. Kasuga, do you have any plans to implement open world dungeons? He just said, Yoshi P wants to do it. We'll figure out a way. That's basically what he said. What's one thing that remained in your mind? He just said the early access period when he wasn't allowed to go home for days. You're able to transfer to the Shinryu world. I guess that's a new world. I'm not aware of that. We're just waiting for the final approval from Yoshida. I would like to use the PlayStation 4 second screen support to type text into the PS4 version. They said that they hadn't even thought of that. And that they would like to do in the future. They said they'll also like to add ways to type with your feet, which was just kind of strange. It seemed a little bit mocking, but regardless. So I only play on the Mac. Do you have plans to introduce a Mac version? They didn't seem too interested in the Mac version when I was watching the live stream. They did get the game to run on a Mac, but they just they don't really know if it's a wise business decision or not to put the development effort into that, since there is going to be problems with DirectX and whatnot. So maybe, maybe not. Depends on if they think it's a good business idea. Kasuga, please tell us the race, gender, and main job of the character you play. I don't care. What kind of items are decided immediately while developing? It depends on the scale. So they're just kind of give a vague answer. Anything you want to tell Yoshi P? Pretty much tell him everything I say normally. Just remember to take care of himself. Yoshi P, take care of yourself. And the final question was, what's the first thing you wanted to fix? He wanted to fix the whole game. Basically, is what he said. And that's the, I know that wasn't really TLDR, but I don't do TLDRs, guys. You know I never shut the hell up. Let's be real here. No voice, have a full voice, doesn't matter. Mr. Happy never shuts his effing mouth. Let's just be real here for a second. But anyway, guys, those were the Q&A for the live letter. As of right now, the 14-hour broadcast is still going on. I don't know if anything else has sort of aired, anything of interest, but we have information about the Gold Saucer, Chocobo Racing, Triple Triad, basketball minigame, and an active event. I don't know if that means a fate. They just said active event. 2.38 will be about a month from now. It's going to have personal housing in it. It's also going to have the next upgrade for the relic quest, so your Novus weapons are going to go to the next level. I'd imagine that would make them high Halligan equivalent, which is pretty crazy, but I mean, we already knew at some point the Novus weapons would be better than high Halligan. I just didn't expect them to do it before 2.4. But Novus is a lot of work, so power to you guys who are doing your Novus, or who have done your Novus, I guess I should say more specifically. 2.4, we're going to be fighting Shiva. Confirmed now, but we still didn't find out what Ninja's main stat's gonna be, so I'm still just gonna be an idiot. I was gonna use a different word, but I wanted to censor it a little bit. I'm just gonna be headstrong. How about that? We'll say that and say it's gonna be strength. It's not gonna be dex. It's not gonna be int. It's definitely not gonna be int. Thaumaturge's not gonna be the subclass either. It's gonna be strength. I'm calling it. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you want to check out these notes for yourself, be sure to check out the link in the description below. Also, I'd like to extend a thank you to Signy Grow, who did their first ever full live translation with a document and everything. They did a great job. It was really, really late, and they got most of it down. There's a lot of little things that they got in there that aren't in this little thing, so I'll include a link to that description below as well. Again, I just want to thank you so much. One of my viewers, one of my subscribers. It's always great to have somebody step up and try and do something for us English-speaking people who don't always know what the hell is going on here. I think I got my voice back a little bit for that one. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care. Take care. There. Okay.